Alrighty, so the 2.5 live stream is going to be happening at 7 a.m. UTC on the 4th, which is going to be in 2 days here, so like basically one day. This live stream is going to have, of course, as you see, Raiden Shogun's VA is going to be part of it, as well as Yae Miko, which leads you to believe that this Raiden Shogun to be returning this upcoming patch. But there's some other things to be for characters that we're going to be talking about in this video, for other characters that are going to be coming out, and why they're going to be coming out in the story. Let's jump into it. So there are many rumors detailing what characters are going to be coming out in 2.5. A lot of people are speculating between Kazuha, Kokomi, and Thoughts Official finally returning, potentially. We don't even know. But all we know is that, you know, we need some more copium in our life. The thing about Yae Miko is the only things we really know about her is that she's going to be an Electro character. That's it. But probably a Catalyst user because there's no weapon on the banner. So what we do know about Catalyst characters in Genshin is all of the Catalyst characters in Genshin kind of sucks because there's not really any good 5-star weapons to make them super, super good. The thing about 5-star weapons in Genshin is the Skyward Atlas is kind of a Papega weapon in general and has never been really, really good on any character, and it's kind of just a mid-range weapon overall. The donut is a laughed at weapon by everybody and their grandma. And of course, the Lost Prayer is one of those weapons that require you to stay out for 16 seconds to even get the maximum bonus. So you'll never actually receive the maximum bonus from the weapon. The only other weapon, of course, is the Memory of the Dust, which is an attack percentage weapon based on with more attack percentage, which also is really poopy because you need more crit chance and crit damage on Catalyst characters because none of them actually scale on crit. I think all of them scale on something else that's not crit, like elemental damage. So we're probably going to get a really, really good Catalyst this time around. That's going to be good for maybe main DPS, sub DPS, etc. And that's going to be very, very fun for her. And I can't wait to check it out. So for rerun banners, if you're not aware, we do a lot of rerun banner review on my channel. And we talk about what banners are coming out and a lot of banners what we can go for summons. The last two reruns were the first reruns that we had here for Zhongli and Ganyu just came out to the game on this current rerun where we have Yae Miko coming next patch, but unknown what the second banner is going to be. With Zhongli and Ganyu on this current rerun with Zhao, the most likely options to the characters that were following that were Eula, who already came to the game, but she's probably not getting another rerun because she just had a rerun like last patch, so we're probably not going to get that. So the most likely option that came after Zhongli, as well as that, is going to be Kazuha, Ayaka, Yoimiya, Raiden Shogun, and Kokomi, which is the first setup of Inazuma reruns coming out ever. And having our first set of Inazuma characters is awesome. So the most likely options for 5-star characters coming out is going to be Kokomi, most likely, as well as Raiden Shogun. And the reason I think it's going to be Kokomi and Raiden Shogun is these two characters in general came out a long time ago, and it seems to be that we just hit Enkinemoya. Now, because Enkinemoya is a long sought after place that has been around for a very, very long time in the background, it's kind of a shadow world. It's positioned right below Watatsumi Island. And because it's positioned right below Watatsumi Island, there's probably going to be some kind of interaction between Raiden Shogun and Kokomi when it comes to Enkinemoya and what the political standpoint is going to be when everybody arrives here. Now, if you didn't know this about the general region of Enkinemoya, this entire region is actually a submerged area of Watatsumi as part of the storyline. And this entire region, all of it, is going to be has actually been visited by anyone in hundreds of years. The only thing we've seen in Enkinemoya is a lot of shadow people and a lot of other open world stuff. So we actually have not seen too much of interaction between Archons in this overall story quest. And the reason we haven't is because we're in the midst of the Lantern Rite Festival. Ever since Shenhe came to the game, the Lantern Rite Festival will take this game by storm. There's a new cutscene with Zhao, and it's a wonderful cutscene. If you haven't seen it yet, it's amazing and actually brings the whole Lantern Rite kind of together and makes it really, really fun. But we haven't really had a return to Watatsumi Island and Enkinemoya and hadn't had any story tied to it besides the original, hey, we're just going there. I think there's going to be some type of Archon quest that's going to rely on the two major political players that are in Inazuma, which are, of course, Kokomi as well as Raiden Shogun. And because miHoYo has been on banners, has been doing a lot more thematic releases on characters where we have Beidou, Yanfei, and Xingqiu going to be available on this banner, as well as Chongyun, Ningguang, as well as Yunjin on the previous banner. All 6 of these characters, actually, if you looked at them, they were huge proponents in the actual storyline for the Fleeting Colors in Flight, and there was a huge Archon quests surrounding all of these guys. So they're actually more thematic than they are lined up to support any of the characters involved. So that means to believe that MiHoYo is going to start transitioning characters into the storyline as far as their 4-star components at certain times of the year. So if they follow along this path, that means that Kokomi will probably come back to the storyline. A character like Yae Miko is more of a fun type character that doesn't really go into the interworkings of like national politics and Archon quest type deals. She's more of a side character in the universe and hasn't really been brought forward, so I don't really think she's going to be coming to the mix. And a character like Kazuha, who is a character... Where is Kazuha? And a character like Kazuha is also just like a first mate to Beidou kind of deal, and he is already like, you know, integrated into the storyline for the original Archon quest at the very end with a really sick cutscene. So he probably will not be arriving back to the game anytime soon. He probably will not be coming back to the game in 2.5 because I don't really think that he's going to be part of any type of quest that's going to be in Inazuma or any type of region that would be around this area. The thing is that if you look at the theme of both of these characters, they're more summer type themed and more spring type themed characters. So I would say these characters would probably arrive in 2.6 if they were going to arrive anytime soon. It should also follow suit with Ayaka, one of the most popular characters that before the game even released. So she will probably arrive around that same time frame as well. And the major reason that Ayaka might get released at that time is because the next character in the storyline that makes the most sense to release would be Ayato. If you're not sure who Ayato is the brother of Ayaka, and because Ayato is the brother of Ayaka, he was one of the characters that was supposed to be released in Inazuma at some point. We've never actually seen any imagery of him or whatnot, but there are a lot of rumors floating around where he's going to come out. My thought process is that he would probably arrive sometime in 2.6. And if Ayaka lands around that same time, that would make a lot of sense. But Ayaka may not land at the same time. She might come in the following patch just as like a follow-up character for that, like a tee up to that. Because maybe they don't actually see each other in the storyline. But based on the banner timings and where everything else, Yae Miko seems like the character that it seems to be the most likely character to come out in 2.5, along with a character like Kazuha. Now, other characters like Venti could come back to the mix at some point very soon, and I believe that Venti will probably arrive in either 2.6 or 2.7, just because it's been quite some time since we've seen him. But the characters that I think that be most likely to come back out at some point relatively soon would be Klee. And the reason I think Klee will come out sometime around 2.7, if you're going to start saving your primos for that and you really like the character, is because the Summer Islands that came out in 1.6 were actually completely oriented around on Klee, because we had an entire arc that we were actually able to get the Dodoko Tales, and that was a really fun island. They're all disappearing. So if the Summer Islands come back in 2.7, when we're actually able to see them again, that'll be great, but they might come back and I think that 2.7 might be the most likely option of when they'll come out, if we get a rerun of the Summer Islands at all. And if we don't get any rerun of the Summer Islands for Klee to get us some Dodoko Tail stuff or any kind of stuff, because we never have any returning weapons or anything like that, Klee will probably not make it back to the story for quite some time. And if Klee comes back, then they'll probably with Venti, and there might be something with Devalin to get us over to the story of the Summer Islands again. And that would be a great time of the year for both Klee and Venti to re-arrive to the game. Now for the next patch, but if you're thinking about between Raiden, Shogun, and Kokomi, the obvious choice is if you have Raiden, Shogun, you probably should not summon for constellations for her, even though she has the best constellation 2 of any character in Genshin that I can see. Whereas Kokomi has the best constellation 1 because it improves her damage by at least 33% of her overall DPS, and it's just nuts. So between the two characters, if you're wondering which character you should pick up in general, if they're both coming out next patch, my thought of course would be Raiden Shogun if you don't have her, and if you do have her, then if you're wondering if Kokomi's a good pickup, the amount of interesting things about Kokomi that I can say is that the people that actually get Kokomi love Kokomi. Crazy thing about Kokomi as far as the character goes and her usage rate in Spiral Abyss is quite interesting, because for every character in Genshin, we were able to see the usage rates of characters. Kokomi is one of those characters that has a way higher usage rate than most people believe. We get a character like Tartaglia with about a 43% usage rate in Spiral Abyss, and then we get a character like Kokomi that like everyone shits on, but she's at 70% usage rate. So the thing about Kokomi is that she's a character that if you have her, you love her, and you love her a lot. But many people won't summon for her, and I understand why, because she was the original reason was because she was positioned right after the Raiden Shogun banner. But every person that did summon for Kokomi loves Kokomi, so that before you make a decision on caring about the character being in a negative fashion and thinking his character is bad or whatnot, I would say that since only 26% of players actually have had the experience of using Kokomi, whereas a lot of people do have Zhangling, 100% of people, and about half players already have have Tartaglia. So if you think about the amount of people that have Tartaglia versus Kokomi and the amount of people that use Kokomi over Tartaglia, it's quite interesting. And the reason Hu Tao is and Hu Tao is one of the most popular characters out there. If you're wondering how many people have her, it's like 71%. It's crazy. So she's a crazy popular character. And of course, Raiden Shogun, as most people already have Raiden Shogun, most people will use Raiden Shogun because they have her already. Now, the thing to summon for the most, though, if they're going to come out in a rerun banner, would be the character that has not come out in a long time, which is Sarah. Sarah has not actually been seen since the Raiden Shogun banner, and will most likely be rerunning on the Raiden Shogun rerun banner if she comes out. And you can see 91% of players that have Sarah don't use Sarah. 91% of people have Sarah. Only 16% use Sarah, and the reason they don't use Sarah is because Sarah really sucks before Constellation 6. But once you get her to Constellation 6, she's really good. So I would say if you're looking for something to work toward, this would be a good reason to summon on the Kokomi banner in general if you are Raiden Shogun main, because if you already have Raiden Shogun, you could go for the Constellations, or you could go for a character you don't have yet. Either way, it's a good choice so you can get your Sarah Constellation. Now, of course, we don't know if Sarah's going to be out on the most recent banner that's going to be coming out for rerun banners, and we won't get any information on that for a few weeks here. So when we do get the information, I'll be able to give you a full idea on what you should summon for it. Should you summon a certain banner? Should you not summon? All that stuff. We'll have a full spread on this. But as far as what you should do, same with your premiums for, that's going to be up to you and what you need for your account. Let me know what you guys think about the video in the comment section about. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.